Hello, I welcome you for this special session on interview preparation. And I'm sure if you have chosen this course, you definitely must be looking for a right platform where you can learn some practical ways on how to prepare for your interview. It could also be a possibility that you are likely to attend an interview very soon and you are looking for some real practical guidance that can help you to excel in the coming interview. Well, before we get into about the interview preparation, I also want to share with you that who I am. Well, my name is Arun Tukral. I'm a leadership coach and I coach a lot of people on interview preparation on a one-on-one basis and through my YouTube videos. And from where I got this background? Well, I carry almost 30 years of my work experience, out of which 15 years I was into the corporate roles. I was in sales, marketing, and consulting. And then I started my own firm called HCN. And from there, we are into the business of hiring, recruitment with various clients. And basis that, on everyday basis, I interact with at least 5 to 7 people, either through interview process or through screening. And with this experience growing every day, you can imagine for the last 15 years how many people I would have interviewed, and I have been a part of a lot of panels. My experience with people who are successful in interviews, number one, are those who are well prepared, who have done a good research about the organization, about the role, and who are serious about attending that interview. But in spite of that, there are some candidates who still miss out. And this is where I decided that I'm going to create a special course where I would like to cover most of the parameters and my own experience, that what are the areas that candidates click and also candidates fail. And also, there could be chances that you may still not be able to make it to the success of an interview. However, if you still practice the right method in the right direction, in the right spirit, in the right attitude, in the right behavior, I can tell you, if not one, you will definitely make it to the second. But what is important is to know what are the basics and what all you need to prepare. So in this session that we are going to learn today, this is a basic course that we are going to learn. And then after this, you will have an access to the advanced course. And that's where you will understand how to prepare for an interview thoroughly. In this particular session that I'm going to take today, we are going to talk about the pre-work for an interview, how to prepare yourself even before going for an interview. So let's imagine that you have got the call because your CV was shortlisted either through a consultant or through a referral, or maybe somebody X known in that company has forwarded your CV. Your CV was shortlisted and you got the call that yes, you have a interview with the hiring manager maybe very soon. And now you are not sure what to plan, what kind of questions are going to come, what kind of preparation that I need to do. So this video is going to give you that gist. And subsequently, the second part would be during the interview, what you are going to do. And subsequently, the third part would be what are the steps that you need to take after the interview. So before I jump into my presentation, I also want to tell you that the first and the foremost step is you need to look at your CV, because your CV is the first and the foremost document that goes even before you go and face the interviewer. Now, imagine if you have already shared the CV in the past, that's okay. But now, since you have an interview, you can always share an updated CV with the hiring manager or with the HR. And in that updated CV, please tweak the first part, the first para of your summary or your skill set basis the job description provided to you in the role that you are applying. Also, when you research about the organization in terms of what are they looking out, what kind of value system they have, try to incorporate some of those words in your executive summary, basis which you highlight what exactly is relevant, and then you can send the updated CV. You know what is the biggest secret for being successful? It's not the interviewer, it's you who drive the interview. You know how and why? Because whatever you are going to mention in your CV, 90% of the questions are going to come from there. Number two, whatever you are going to speak in terms of the information that you give about your skill sets, about your understanding of a domain knowledge, they are going to ask more deeper questions from there. So it's all up to your skills, which direction you want to take it, and I will tell you how. So before we really go there, I want you to understand this from the brief slide deck, that how you can really make a big mark when it comes to the pre-interview preparation. Well, as I always say, preparation gives you confidence, and confidence makes your preparation more fruitful and successful. So what are the things that you need to be careful when you are going for a pre-interview preparation? The one thing that I've already told you is to work on your CV. Now, what else you can do? Number one, and the most important, is review the job description. A lot of people say, yeah, we have read the job description. This is very basic. But I'll tell you one secret, and I want you to look at this, what I'm going to share now, because basis that you will get an idea where exactly is the secret sauce. Like job description for one of the job posting I just took randomly of a project manager. Now you look at this, they talk about the objective of the role, they talk about the responsibilities. Now they talk about required skills and qualification. Now here, there are two kinds of skills that they look at. One is called as the functional skills, and the other is called as the behavioral skill. Functional skill is something like this: 4 or more years of project management experience in developing web technologies and software platforms, strong attention to deadlines and budgetary guidelines. Now, suppose you're in finance, you're in HR, you're in sales, you're in marketing, there would be some technicalities relevant to the job which you're supposed to know and which you're supposed to have when you apply for a job. But what we are going to learn in this interview preparation is the soft skills part. Now look at the objective of this role. Build and develop the project team to ensure maximum performance by providing purpose, direction, and motivation. What exactly it is saying? It's saying very strong leadership capabilities, because when you are a leader, you think about a vision, purpose, and then you motivate your team. Lead projects on the requirement definition through deployment, identifying schedules, scopes, budget estimation, and implementation plans. What it says is the skill set that is required, that as a leader, you need to be strategic. That means how you take certain actions and become more strong in your deliveries. This is how you need to, or analyze a project status when necessary and revise the scope. Now, once you do this, understanding that analytical skills are important, our interview preparation, and that's where you need to look at the job description like this, and that gives you a full view of what exactly you need to prepare, because job description will not only give you the functional requirement but the behavioral requirement. The second thing that you need to look at is your eligibility. Now, if you feel that this job description is what describes you very well, definitely go for it. And suppose if it is not, then you really need to look at it where you need to prepare yourself, particularly if it is technical skills that you are short of. Let's say they want to have certain certifications for a program and you are not, obviously your candidature will not be accepted. So be careful on that. Number three, which is most important to me, is research about the company. I'm sure when you apply for any job, you tend to research a lot. So go into the website of the company, look at about us, look at about their vision, mission, values. But most importantly, look at where they are showing their results in terms of their business, also in terms of how they are taking care of their people by rewarding, awarding, and the kind of best places to work certifications, if any, they have acquired, because that is something which is going to give you the right information that how this company culture is. And once you know that there is a certain set of cultural values they have, and they exhibit that on social media or on their website, look at your own current scenario. Does that cultural value meets your expectation and your way of doing things? If yes, then probably this is the right company. And also, if it is not, I highly recommend don't apply for it just because you want to go for a job. So go very clearly about the company, the role, the eligibility, and then prepare a list of expected interview questions. I'm sure everybody will have some of the questions which are very common, which are there in the mind that I need to prepare. So give you some samples. Tell me about yourself. To tell why do you think that you are suitable for this job? Why do you want to join us? Why do you want to leave your current company? Tell me some of your significant achievements in the recent past. Tell me when you had to take a very hard decision in the recent past. Tell me something about when you were unable to solve a problem, what did you do? Now, what you see is there are two varieties of question. One is about you, yourself, your interest in the job and the company, and why do you want to leave your current organization? And the second sets are competency based interview, where they want to check about your leadership skills, your decision making skills, problem solving skills, or any other skill which is relevant to the role. And they can also put across a situation where they might give you some case study to solve based on the functionality of the job, which is very relevant. So when you prepare these kind of interview questions, the next step that you need to do is practice some mock interviews. Now, once you practice certain mock interviews, talk to your friends, maybe your spouse or somebody who is a trustworthy mentor to you. Ask that how your answers are. But anyways, in the advanced search model, you are definitely going to learn a lot of examples that how this is going to be relevant for you in this preparation. But at the moment, practice some mock interviews. At least do 3 interviews with your friends on these particular questions, and you will be more confident to achieve your objective. Now, organize your documents. Now, when I say organize your documents, it simply means that you need to really find out like your CV, hard copy. There are certain certificates that you must have acquired. There are certain documents which are relevant in terms of your salary slips, in terms of your last increment letter. Everything has to be well prepared, and it has to be in the form of a sheet or a document with you. A lot of people nowadays feel that, it's all digital and everything is there. Yes, everything is there already on a digital platform, but the best practice is to carry it along with you. Then the next thing you need to look at is update your social media profile. However, I very strongly recommend that social media is particularly with respect to your LinkedIn. Look at all the posts that you have done in the recent past. If anything derogatory or somebody has given a sarcastic comment, please try to remove it if possible. But yes, what is important is update your profile, make it very richer and stronger in terms of recommendations that you have got or the kind of posts that you have shared relevant to your expertise area. Then comes the last one, that is your make your travel arrangements. You should know that how much time it is going to take to reach the interview place. Sometimes it may take 1 hour. So plan 1.5 hours before, because what is important is you should know whether you will be going by your own car or you'll take a metro or you'll take a cab. And if it is a Monday morning, I can tell you, no matter how well you think that you will reach in 1.5 hours, you will take 2 hours. So be very cautious about the fact that on this interview, you should be reaching at least half an hour before the interview. Reaching on time is already late. So if your interview time is 10 a.m. and if you reach at 10 a.m., then you are late. Ideally, you should be inside the hall by 9:45 or 9:35, 15 to 20 minutes prior to the interview. That's how it works. And the last is interview dress. A lot of people do understand the meaning of this, but some people still make the mistake. I remember in one of the interview, one gentleman came in the summer season and he was wearing a blazer. Now, it's a good thing that you're wearing a blazer, which shows that you're serious about the interview, but the blazer was not ironed. Now, what's the point of wearing a blazer at that time? Also, I remember that some people try to wear, some fancy clothes to look very attractive, but that depends on what kind of organization that you are. If you are into some advertising companies, could be that may work. But in my practice, in my understanding, a formal attire like a pant shirt or a blazer is something that is most acceptable. So you decide all these things in advance, and that's how you look confident, because confidence is the key. If you are confident, then rest of the things are taken care of. And confidence comes from preparation. And right now we are talking about pre-interview preparation. And that's how it is going to make a huge difference for your success. So my one homework to you for this, or one assignment that I want you to do after you have heard this, is to go and read the job description, look at those competencies on behavioral and functional, look at your eligibility, look at the areas that you can do well, and that's how you should be able to make a mark. And share your thoughts with me on what have you learned, which are the competencies are there, and how well you are prepared. In the next part, we will get into the during interview preparation, what you need to do during the interview. And that's very crucial because that's where a lot of decision happens based on the interaction. And sometimes as you walk into the chamber of the person will be a deciding factor. So let's learn that as well in the next part.